Hello crafters, I'm JanB and I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. Today I'm going to show you how I made this birthday card. It's a Concertina card. Opens up like that. Isn't that lovely? It stands up and that's what you've got looking at the workings inside. Okay, so that was my card that I made just before the video. This one is my prototype, which was the first one that I'd made. I haven't finished it off because I'm going to do this for my son's birthday card, which is the 27th of May. So this is the masculine version. Okay. As you know, this is really my go-to stamp set and design series paper for my masculine cards. It has been so easy to use, it really has. Fortunately, the stamp set's being carried forward, but not the design series paper. But I've stamped that and I've die cut it, so I'm going to have that on there and a birthday greeting. Possibly I might do his name up there as well. So there we go. This is what I'm going to show you how to do today. I will start off by telling you the card pieces that you're going to be needing. Now, because it varies from whichever designer series paper I use, whether it's got like a white background like this or whether it's got a see, that one's got a solid background, so I've got the white in between there, but this one, the card's going to be white because I need a colour under here. So let's start off. It's a bit experimental, so what I'm trying to say is I don't really know what I'm going to be doing on the back. This one I left plain because I feel that you could write your greeting on the back. This one, I put the blue on the back, but I'm not going to put the white on it because I think that's quite light enough to write on as well. So I don't know at the back of this one. So to start off with, I don't have the metric measurements. I got stuck with them. I will try again before I post the video, but I'm afraid there's no promises on that one. But the sizes do also suit the US as well, because there is no restriction on the size of your actual cardstock. And the 12 inches are on the DSP, which is the same. So to start off with, the card base you need should be 10 inches by 6 inches, scored and folded at 5 inches. You want the main design of your designer series paper, and what I've done is with all of mine I have considered what the design at the back is like. So mine are going to be like that. With these, this design is on the back of this one, and on the back of that obviously is that. So whichever way you see the card, it's all matching. You don't finish up with like 4 designs, you've only got the 2, and that happened with this one as well. That's upside down. Okay, so the back of this one are the blue stripes. Okay, so this piece measures 12 inches by 6 inches. This piece is 8 inches by 4 inches. And then 2 pieces of Petal Pink, which measure 4 5/8 inches by 5 5/8 inches. Now at the moment I'm not sure whether I need 1 or 2 of these, and these measure 4 1/2 by 5 1/2 inches, and that's what's going to layer on there. So I doubt if I'll use 2 of them because the other one is for the back, but I don't know yet. And you also need 4 pieces of Petal Pink, which measure 2 3/4 inches by 1 7/8 inches. Now again, with mine, on both of my cards, what I've done is I have put straight onto the cardstock. I haven't put a white layer on there, even for the sentiment there I haven't put a white layer, and I didn't on that one either. But if you don't like it without that white layer on there, then what you would need as well, I've prepared them here but I've changed my mind about using them. These measure 2 5/8 inches by 1 3/4 inches. but as I say, I decided I don't want to use those. So what we're going to do first of all is we are going to work on our large piece of designer series paper, and for this we need our trimmer. So let me make sure that I can get you in. You will need to open up the arm on there. Now, let me just clear myself a little bit of a space here. I'd better not let my book go too far because I've still got some measurements on there. Okay, now we're going to do some scoring on this, and do remember that this is paper, designer series paper, and although it's thick for paper, if you press too hard on your scoring tool it's going to tear your paper. So let me just get myself comfy so that I know you can see the top. There we go, in fact you can see all of it now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to line my cardstock, my designer series paper, up at 2 inches, and I'm just going to do a score once because it's the paper. Move along to 4 inches and score again. Move along to 6 inches, score again. 8 inches and 10 inches. Okay, so what we need to do now is we need to cut out this centerpiece. So you need to put your designer series paper back in again and line this edge up with 1.5 inches on this far side, and 1.5 inches is actually the end of the white where the brown starts. So if you line it up with that, that'll be fine. And with your cutting blade you need to cut from this score line, which is your 2 inch mark, is that right, my 2 inch mark? Yes, that's it. So line that up there, and you start from 2 inches. It does not look right. Let's fold that. That's better. Optical illusion, I think. Right, so I've lined up on the outside here 1.5 inches. I'm going to cut from 2 inches down to 10 inches, which is your first score line, down to your second score line. If you misjudge it, do it so that you don't cut it quite far enough, because it's easy just to add that little bit on with your, cut that extra little bit with your paper snips. But once you've cut it, that's it, it's cut. And then just turn it around 180 degrees and do the same to the other side. Line it up on the 1.5 inches, which is where the white meets the brown. Start at 2 inches, which is your score line here. I tend to do mine a bit short when I'm videoing because I can't get my head right over, and it's amazing how much difference it makes. And then come on down to the 10 inches again. Yep, that looks okay. Yes, I'm a bit short there. Let me just cut that little bit. Okay, so I'm just going to cut the bit that I didn't use my trimmer for. The others are all okay. So what you need to do now, put your paper in this way, and you need to cut from that cut line down to that cut line. So what I do is, well, there's two ways you can do it. You can either line this up at your 2 inch mark and go from there, or what I tend to do is I line my score line up. That one's easy to see because I've already folded it. So what I tend to do is I put the score line into that cutting line and the score line into that cutting line. And now you need to start from 1.5 inches and go down to 4.5 inches. Yep, a little bit short there, and you should go from one cut line to the next. Yep, I'll finish that one off with my paper snips. And then turn it to 180 degrees again, or slide it through, whichever way you feel best doing it. I've got my score line in at the top there, and my score line's in down the bottom here. I'm going to cut at 1.5 down to 4.5. Oh, that's all right. Okay, so this one should fall out. That one needs a little bit of a snip. Which way? That way? A bit each, I think. Are you going to come out, please? Just so, oh, that's it. Just so don't want to cut too far. Should be that one. There we go. Okay, so that one's not needed. Okay, so there's that piece. We can come back to that one. Now your other piece of designer series paper, pop that into your trimmer and score that at 2, 4 and 6 inches. Again, be careful because it is paper, albeit thick paper. That's 2, 4, 6. Right, I think, remembered something else you need to do here. For your card to hold this, you need to have little cut marks, top and bottom here, in between all of the, halfway between all your score lines. Let me just show you this. Okay, so halfway between that one, and such like. So what you need to do with this one is line your cardstock up at 3 inches. Okay, so you've got a score line at 1 inch that side and 1 inch that side. So what you need to do here is just cut up 1/2 inch, which should be from 1.5 inches up to 1 inch. Then move along to 5 inches and repeat. Move along to 7 inches. And repeat. No, don't you cut there. Oh, you've still got 7. Yep. And then move along to 1 inch. Then move along to 9 inches. And then cut up to 1 inch. Now again, turn your designer series paper 180 degrees and do it on the opposite side. Now the reason I don't say to cut from here and then come down to this bit is because there's nothing to hold this bit, and it would be very easy to get the line in the cut in the wrong place. So line that up at number 3, cut from the start up to number 1. Number 5. Then cut up to number 1. Move along to number 7. Cut up to number 1. Move up to number 9 and cut up to number 1. Okay, so you should have on each of these a 1/2 inch cut line. That's it. That's all done. Now I think that's all we need the trimmer for. So first of all we're going to work with this piece, and we need, that's got to be a valley, mounted valley. So if you fold the right side in, fold your designer series paper in half and make sure that you line up beautifully. Okay, let me bring this down a bit so I can see. There we go. And then once you've done that, use your bone folder to get a really good crease. Okay, don't over crease it because it is paper and it will split, but just crease it enough to make sure it's in the right place. Okay, so that's a valley. This first one's got to be a valley as well. So fold that, make sure it's going over nice and straight. And make sure that one's going over nice and straight. And the next one needs to be a mountain. Again, fold it over so it's going over really nice and straight. If you go in a wonky direction, your card's not going to work. So take your time, make sure you do this well. Okay, so it's those. And this one is a valley. And line that one up nice and straight, and we got a valley, and then we need a mountain on this one. There we go. So what you should be able to do now is fold it up like that. Okay, and just give that a crease to make sure it is going the direction you want it to go in. Now I have to remember with mine, I do have a directional pattern on this. So next we need our card, and we're going to adhere this inside. So get your paper whichever way you need it, if you've got a right or wrong. We are going to stick this bit first, and it's going, this bit here is going to line up really perfectly into that square. Except I always leave an absolute tad of a space. Let me show you on this one. I think this is the best one to see it. If you have a look to see where my designer series paper comes to and how much cardstock you can see underneath there. Okay, let's move that out of the way. That is what I call a tad. Okay? And the reason I do that is so that when your card is closed, nothing is going to peep out of there. So let's pop that back again, get my Tombow, and I do recommend Tombow here. And it does need a little bit more than just on the four sides and a squiggle. Okay, so it's more or less all over but not solid. Okay. Now, because you're using Tombow, or if you're using Tombow, it will give you a little bit of time to manoeuvre your piece into place. Okay, so I think I'm happy with that. It's not very easy to see the white with the white background, but yes, that looks right. I don't think that leaked. Okay, now we're going to do this one. Sounds like something did leak somewhere. Can't feel it. Okay, so let's put some glue on this side. Now don't let this bit get away from you. I did on my first one, and I finished up with glue on the inside of my card, which I had to erase, which wasn't the easiest thing to do because I had to work through this window thing of ours. There we go. That's a bit too big a tad for me. Let's close it up a bit. Yes, that's better. Okay, so I'm happy with that. So that's how your card should be closing at the moment. Okay. Easy. So far so good. The next bit we need to do is to fold this, and we've got valley, mountain, valley. Again, fold that, make sure you've got everything lining up nicely, but don't over score it. That side's a bit longer than the other. But I'm not going to worry about that. Let me just show you what the difference is on mine. Okay. So with that little bit of a difference, you can see whether it's going to work or not, or whether I should have cut it off. But I don't think so. I think that'll be right. Okay. So next, what I want is for these pieces to go on here, and because this is quite a long job to do, I have done what I've done here, which is I fussy cut these out of a different sheet of designer series paper that goes with that. So what I've done with this is I have fussy cut some the flowers as well, so I can put them on here, but I'm going to stamp the message there which says friends make the good times better. Okay, so there's that. But what I did first was I embossed these with the Subtles embossing folder. So I'm going to do that. If you want to do your white pieces, what you can do is these will line up like that, so you've got a little gap all the way around, and you could use the Good Morning Magnolia stamp set and do that flower there, and then you can die cut it, and if you did three of your panels, you could adhere them on here in different directions so that they look slightly different. Or if you're like me, you're quite happy fussy cutting, you can do that. So what I'm going to do first of all is clear my desk a little bit. I'm going to bring my Big Shot over, and I'm going to dry emboss these. I can't call it dry embossing now because I spray mine with water. I do that because they say that with the 3D or the dynamic embossing folders, you should spray them very slightly with water. Because they are such dimensional embossing folders, the water helps to soften the fibres so they don't actually tear when they're being embossed. The embossing folder I'm using, which is being carried forward, is the dynamic. Mine's actually the dynamic subtle, whereas now you buy a subtle 3D. And the only difference is this one was made by Sizzix, whereas Stampin' Up now make their own. So if I bring my Big Shot up, and this isn't the platform that I need for embossing, just put that there. I need my regular platform, which is that, one cutting mat and my embossing folder. And which way do I want my lines? I want my lines to go across, I think. So I'm going to line them up on here, and I can do all four at the same time. And as long as I make sure that they're straight, and I'm happy. And if there's a right and wrong way, you have the wrong way facing up, because that is the front of the embossing folder. I don't think, oh, that one, yes, got that one right. Okay, do that. There we go. Just check, see there. Oh, I was going to say that, yes, they're quite straight. And that one moved. Okay. Right, stay as you are. Right, I've got the fold of my embossing folder going through first. I have one cutting mat here. There we go. I also want to, I don't know, because I'm deciding what I'm doing as I go along. I'm not really quite sure whether I need to do more embossing or not, but I'll get the big shot back again if I do need it. And that's because I did this here has been embossed with the Subtles folder. Okay, so I might do that again, but it's got a white front, so as the saying goes, the jury is out on that. Let me bring my other mat back. What do I need? Nothing at the moment, do I? Okay, so let's move this out of the way. Let's put that there. And that there. So on 3 of these I'm going to put my flowers. Obviously I did these ahead of time because I know you wouldn't want to sit and watch me do all that fussy cutting. And I have to say it was rather fiddly. But you know me, I'm quite happy doing this. If you wanted to, you could pop these up on dimensionals, but I don't like anything inside of my cards being popped up. I don't like any kind of anything that causes any thickness apart from my layers. Get off. Come on, get off. Let go. That's it. Do I have any tweezers? Yes, I do. I'm just going to blot that on a piece of paper because I've had to put it on the stem there. It was quite thick. Okay, so that's one. No, not that. We put the glue on this bit. I'll show you the other stamp set that I'm using as well. In fact, 2 stamp sets for the sentiments. Okay, so I'm going to blot this as well. There we go, and the last one. And on the other one I'm going to do this sentiment. I can't think what the stamp set is. It was, yes I can, it was from the Waterfront, and inside it says something like times are better with good friends or something. Friends make the good times better. Okay. So that's those three. So now I want the sentiment. If I was going to use one of these pieces, because I haven't got any scraps over with me. This is the sentiment. Friends make the good times better. And this is the stamp set it's from. And this is being carried forward in the new catalogue, so that's good. I'm going to use a soft suede ink. And then I need to die cut it. Oops. I could actually just pop that onto there, but I think it looks nice once it's been die cut. So that's that. That's all the insides. Do that. Then I've got to decorate the front of that. So let's do one job at a time. If only because it's less confusing for me. Alright, okay, so the die that I'm going to be using for this is it's from the Stitched Rectangle dies, and it's this little odd one that's on its own. It fits on there just beautifully. And so I need that. And that. My big shop needs a bit of helping hand nowadays. I will be glad once the Stampin' Up die cutting machine is available. You will see it in the new catalogue, which goes live on the 3rd of June, but it's not available to buy just yet. It will be available, to use Stampin' Up's terminology, it will be available in the early life of the catalogue. So hopefully that just means the autumn. There we go. So this I'm going to adhere onto my 4th panel. There we go. Yes, that looks straight. Let's pop that back over there so I don't lose it. Now these have to be adhered. Ooh, nearly did that wrong, didn't I? I bet you were shouting at me before, weren't you? No, Jan, don't do it, don't do it. So that should be my valley. There we go. So that's it. Now, if you're not happy that you're going to put, adhere these in the right place, you could just line this up on your grid paper and make sure that you start at least 1/2 inch down and 1/2 inch up, which is your cut line. Yes, that's right. But I think, let's put that one there, because, oh no, I don't want those two together, do I? No, that's, yeah. Okay. Or what you can do is you could actually put your first 2 pieces in and then just mark a line Okay, so you could just put a pencil line here. I'm going to wing it because as long as that gap up there is the same as that gap and these are all on the same line, it's going to work beautifully. Okay, so we're going to do it like that. Again, you could pop these up on dimensionals, but I don't like it inside a card. And this card, the finished size is 5 by 6, and me personally, I would post it out in a 7 by 5 envelope. Right, now I've got the 2 squares there and I'm going halfway between that. I've got 2 squares there and I'm going halfway between, so that's got to fit beautifully. And this one I'm just going to line up with the previous one. The green leaves make this all tie together nicely. I'd like to say I planned it like that, but I didn't. In fact, let's do that one first. Let's do this. I think that looks okay. Let's get back to this one. There we go. I think that's all okay. Right, so to make sure this all works, make sure that's all stuck down nicely. Yep, that's fine. So what did I do with my card? There it is. So what we need to do, now you have to be careful with this because it's quite easy to tear these pieces up here. I know, because I did it. I tore this one here. I don't know whether you could see, but I've had to put some sellotape on it to glue it together, to hold it back together again. I thought you might have been able to see the shine, but maybe not. But there is sellotape on that to seal it up here. So, I mean, if you tear it, it's not the end of the world, but it's obviously better if you don't. So what I'm going to do is, each section here has one cut. Okay, so that one goes in there. That one goes in the second one. That one goes in the third. And that goes in the fourth. Okay, so that's the easy bit. Now turning it around, you've got that goes in the first one. That goes in the second. Okay, fourth one's going in and then third one's going in. So what happens now, you should be able to close your card. Do it gently. It needs to find its own level. You may need to push it further down. There we go, that's a lot better. In fact, why has... You see, that one's coming out, so it's not going in far enough down there. But that's gone in wonky. I think probably one of my cut lines isn't cut correctly, but that's okay. It's coming over the top there a bit. Right, so what I did on my other card, when I found it was coming over the top there, this is hardly enough to worry about actually, but the other one it was quite seriously wrong. So what I did was I took this one out from the top very gently. It wasn't at this stage that I tore it. In fact, let's take that one right out for a minute. I want to show you this just in case you have a problem with it. And all I did was I came in and I snipped this just absolute tad. That's the beauty of using Stampin' Up scissors. They cut right to the point, so you can put the point where you want it to go, and you know that's where the end of your cut is going to be. There we go. So let's do one side again first. So there's that one. Second panel. Third panel. And the fourth panel, and then let's go down the other side very gently. First one into the first cut, second panel into the second cut, third panel into the third cut, and the fourth panel into the fourth cut, and then gently push them in. Okay, and that needs to go further in, I can see that. Right. What happens is really when you've got these ones here, they should actually fit right on the back. If they don't, chances are they'll come out at the front. There we go. Okay, the centre one doesn't for some reason, but there we go. So that's your card. Isn't it lovely? And again, because you've matched up the designs, brilliant. Right, so on the front I am going to use these, and I will put this one on the back, but that's the one I said I wasn't sure about, wasn't it, whether I was going to do two of them. So let's just put this one on the back. God, I've made a mess there. What's that? It looks like glue. Let's find out if it is. I said I felt something sticky, didn't I? Not sure where it came from. I wonder if I got it onto my grid paper. I know it's being covered up, but there we go. Alright, so let's put this one on. Just checking for the right side. Yes, I'm going to leave this. I'm not going to put a white sheet on top of it. So to prepare this one, I need the white to go on the Petal Pink. Now I have already stamped the image that I want for this, and I've coloured it just to save time. But I'm not happy with the way I've done my colouring. So what I will do after the video, I will stamp it and then recolour it, cut it out again. It was a die cut, so that's nice and easy. And I'm going to adhere it on top of the one I'm not happy with. Okay, so, oh, I said that I was going to emboss that. Never mind. So I'm going to, this is my image. I don't know if you can see. You see that darker bit there? I started colouring it with the soft suede that I used down here. So I want to redo that. So I'm going to pop this up on dimensionals on the front. Yes, I am. Oh, don't tell me I didn't put them away. There's no chance I could... Oh no, here they are. I was going to say, if I haven't put them away, they're on my desk somewhere. I've got no chance of finding them. Now I have my Stamparatus all set up with this stamp and also the stamp for the sentiment that I'm using, which is this one here. So I'm going to show you that. I have been using my Stamparatus an awful lot recently, and it has been brilliant. Even on something like that where I'm stamping the flower and that both at the same time and using different coloured inks. I think that would probably be enough, won't it? Should I just have a couple of little ones there? I might need to just... Oh, that's just about going to fit on. Okay. I don't know if you've ever seen when I've done a video before, and rather than using dimensionals to pop things up, I've done the image, whatever it was, excuse me, and I've die cut some plain, whatever colour it was, it's normally white cardstock, and done about 5 of the shapes and then layered them all together. Right, we need to put this one here as well, don't we? That's it. Oh, this be good. Scoop all those up. Right, straight in the bin. And you. This one I'm also popping up on dimensionals. I think I thought that using the big ones was a bit of a waste for this. I'm so pleased with these little dimensionals. There we go. That looks straight. Just use my card to scoop these up. Right, now I'm going to pop this onto my card here. Obviously you could do this bit first if you wanted, so your card is nice and flat. Whoops. There we go. That's how I got my card dirty. There's glue on there. I can feel it. There we go. Do you know what? Now that I've got that like that, I think I want the white on the back as well. And this one here has already got some glue on it because I put glue onto, when I was going to use this earlier, I'd put glue onto it and then I changed my mind and decided I didn't want it. So I just left it up on this side there to dry. I thought, we'll save that, you might need it sometime. So sometime is right now. Oh no, that's the same size. Right, okay, don't panic. Let's just get ourselves another piece of Whisper White Cardstock. Cut the size we need, which would be, I can read my book, 4.5 by 5.5. Okay. Let's do 5.5 on there. Four and a half there. Do you know, I'm actually standing up working here. I wonder if I could always do that. Is my voice a lot louder when I'm up here? I'm going to pay attention to that, because I might. It would make my life quite a bit easier, I think. Although, knowing me, I'd probably knock my head on the camera. But you're saying... Yeah, that's all right. Just wondering if maybe I cut the petal pink bit wrong. And what I'm going to do with this is the little image in the Good Morning Magnolia stamp set. I'm going to do one of those, die cut it, that one there, and I'm going to put it on the back, put it on this white panel. Right, this is going to stick quite quickly, I think. So don't make any mistakes. Oh, I think that's about right. Yes, that'll look nice, won't it? Back and front. So there we go. What do you think of that? Good. Let me just show you my Stamparatus, because I've got it right here. Okay, so there's my two images. I took one piece of cardstock. Let's take this one, because this will be big enough for both of them. Okay, and I used my memento. Now I need this image because I want to colour it properly and then adhere it over the one that I'm not very happy with that's on the front of my card. And I have to say that in the new catalogue, the extra plates, these, the doors, what I call doors, they're not going to be in the new catalogue. So if you want any, and I have 4 doors, which I find really, really useful, do get them now before the catalogue ends. And other things that you may need that are retiring are the embossing buddy, if you're into heat embossing. That's retiring, so if you need one or might need one, get one now. They're nice and cheap, so it's no problem. Right, now this one I want in, what have I got? Soft suede. So let's bring this down so you, that's it. Okay, I didn't do them both at the same time just in case I was a bit clumsy with it. And there we go. Honestly, our Stamparatus, it really does not, oops, that was clumsy. It really does knock all the other stamp positioners out of the water. It is so absolutely amazing. And I'm looking around for my chamois to clean this up before I let it go downwards. One thing at a time. Move that one out of the way. A little bit of paper there. Put that under there. That's it. Be organised. Let's cover that one up. In fact, it would have been better if I'd covered this one up as well. So that's safe. And this is another useful thing as well. Clean stamps up beautifully. I'll clean that up as well. It gets stained, but that doesn't matter. It doesn't spoil its cleaning abilities. Okay. So that one's been on there for a long time because I made some thinking of you, positive thoughts cards for a lot of my customers. There we go. So let's move that out. And that's it. That is today's project. I hope you like it. I hope you give it a try. I think it's an absolute great card, really do. I don't know where the idea actually came from. I saw somebody's video which was done in 2011. So I have seen since, but so I don't know who to give credit to on that one. I'll show you that one as well. Okay. So there we go. Many thanks for joining me today. If you have any questions or would like to make any comments, please leave them in the box below the video. I'm always happy to help you, and I do like reading your feedback. If in the box below I'll put all the measurements that I've used and the products that I've used, which will have a link to my 24/7 online Stampin' Up shop. If you do purchase from me during May, please use the hostess code when you're closing your order. I think it's just underneath the final bit that you do. If you put that in, then I can send you some free product at the end of the month. If you've enjoyed my video and would like to be notified each time I upload a new one, please click the subscribe button there in the bottom right hand corner, and click the bell as well so that you get the notifications each time I do upload. Okay, so many thanks for joining me today. Also, if you'd like to have daily inspiration of other cards to make, visit my blog at www.janbcards.com. I post a new card every day and plenty of inspiration. So many thanks for joining me today. Until next time, please take good care, stay safe, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Cheerio.